You are ready to continue? We are ready to continue. We'll begin with you. You've been waiting a very long time. He's going to push all your buttons. Well, not all of them, some of them. We will push the rest.
First thing I'd like to say is that this was my first request on the placemat process, this cruise. So that happened.
Good job.
The questions I had, one of them, I have several, and then my seatmates have forced me to ask you one also.
Unfortunately, they have no control of us.
So the first thing is, after 20 years, the first two books, New Beginnings 1 and 2, mentioned the Earth realignment, and I haven't heard anything about it in Ask and It Is Given. It was never ever mentioned in that book, except maybe in a vague way.
Well, at the time that those books were written, particularly the first book, those who were coming to gatherings like this, that was primarily what was on their mind. When Jerry and Esther first began this work, the metaphysical community, who were the first to summon them, that was the topic of discussion. And we were eager to comment on the alignment, the realignment of your planet, because we know that it is the reason that all of you made the decision to come forth into this particular time-space reality. The primary alignment that is taking place, as many of you are understanding and feeling, is a vibrational alignment. In other words, it is a wide contrasting environment that is summoning more non-physical energy forward into a physical time-space reality than has ever been before. And part of that is because it is the continuum. In other words, everything always becomes more. But it is also because of the intensity of those like you who are coming forth deliberately intending to understand this business of being the creator of your own reality. It is a renaissance. It is truly the time of awakening. And so the energy is high and flying high, which means the energy of your planet is moving at a faster pace. So those who are participating must be up to speed with the energy if they are to thrive in the way that you are accustomed from your non-physical stance and in the way that is natural to you. In terms of the actual physical realignment of your planet, this is not something that is new. It is something that has been present from the beginning of your planet. And it is not something that is unnatural or even stark. It is something that must always continue on any organism that is a breathing, living organism, such as your planet Earth, you see. And so one of the reasons that we commented on it at all was because we thought that it was a particularly good venue in which to help people finally, once and for all, discover what unconditional alignment with the energy of love really is. Because we don't know if you've noticed it or not. Well, we are sure you have. But we have noticed that humans are reluctant, for the most part, to do anything about their vibrational equilibrium. Most people, if they can get somebody else to change a behavior, they'll go for that first. And if they can get the government to move, they'll go for that next. In other words, almost all people that you know are we want to be kind, and yet they are so determined to change the circumstances so that they can have a better feeling response to it that almost no one does real energy work. Almost no one gets back into conscious awareness of the vibrational proximity between what they're emitting right now, this red hot minute, based upon what they're thinking about, past, present, or future, and where they really want to be. And so as a result, most people are not coming anywhere near their potential for fabulous creating, because they're trying to do the impossible. They're trying to get people to change their lives and clean up what they are observing, which is an impossible task. So along comes a strong movement that's focused upon something under which man understands he has no personal or governmental or influential control. Finally, it's almost like having a room full of people who have been diagnosed terminally ill, where the physician has said, there's nothing we can do for you. We can't chop anything else out. We can't pump anything else in. You are on your way to do whatever you must do, but we are powerless to change any circumstance to change your condition. And we adore interacting with terminally ill people because we don't want to hurt your feelings, but they're usually the only ones who really listen to us. And the reason they are the only ones who really listen to us is because they have no other alternatives. They can't get somebody to do something. They can't get somebody else to change a circumstance. So along comes the idea of earth changes, and so many people deeply involved in the belief of it, so many scientific evidences and so many people aware of it, people charting the progress of it, a lot of energy workers feeling the energy of it. And so we said, yes, we are in agreement that you are in a more emphatic than usual time of earth realignment. There will be more wind, there will be more wave, there will be more volcanic activity, there will be more earthquake activity, not everywhere all at once, but around enough as your earth is unfolding that it will give you an opportunity. If you see yourself as powerless in the sense that you cannot control the conditions, you've got no choice. If you're going to live happily ever after, you're going to do it through your power of focus. And we watched thousands of people who were up close to the idea of this. It was like acquiescing to the idea of something. It was like surrendering to the well-being that was inevitable without trying to personally orchestrate the circumstances and events. And it's funny to see, but we saw more people come into alignment under that situation than under any other. And in fact, your terrorists will give you another opportunity for that, because you can't control where they are. You don't know where they'll be. You don't even know who they are. You certainly do not understand their motivation. You are not privy to the bottom line base story behind all of it. In other words, you are out here just being terrorized by them, and even more terrorized by your own government, who is trying to terrorize you with the terrorists, you see.
Yeah,
and
right.
So as you are in this position once again, we really don't need earth changes anymore, do we? We've got terrorists. They serve the same sort of purpose, don't they? They give you an opportunity, if you want it, to understand that if you're going to be happy, it's up to you, because you cannot wait for your government or for the world or for anybody else to make this world the perfect place that you might think you need it to be, so that you can observe the perfect circumstances that make you feel good. Your freedom only ever comes when you get it that you're in charge of you. And as long as you think that any other factors could negatively or positively, for that matter, influence you, then you're not free. And that is why there is so much dysfunction among you. It is because innately you know that you are free, and innately you demand that you must be free, and unless you are free, you freak out at every level of your being, and then you buy one more thing and bring it home to try to soothe it, or you shoot one more thing, or you drink one more thing, or you try to control one more thing. And we love it when uncontrollable things cross your path, and you are forced to become the dynamic creators that you are.
How soon is that path being crossed?
Well, are you talking about earth changes? Mm-hmm. It happens every day.
It's still happening, but
It's
I mean
happening.
the cataclysmic type that was described in...
Well, it depends on your
Beginnings one.
proximity to it. It happened in Florida last week. In other words, it depends on how close you are to it. We are not anticipating that you are going to be dynamically impacted worldwide all at once. It is something that you are zigging and zagging and moving about. We would not factor it in. If we were standing in your physical shoes, knowing what you know, knowing how to line up energy, we would not factor in any outside circumstances as our reason to do or not do anything. Mm-hmm. Instead, we would align with Source, we would trust our impulses, we would go where we feel like going, and we would live happily ever after.
In Oceanside, California.
Follow your instinct. You see, we are not going to pronounce where you live safe, because we do not want to give you a circumstance that is easier for you to find ease about. We want you to find your own ease. We want you to follow your own instincts, you see. There are people in California who are losing their homes. They're falling in the ocean at a pretty regular pace. There are all kinds of things that are happening. You can tell by the way you feel whether you are in the place that you're wanting to be.